You're on mute. Good
Oh,
morning, all.
am I still muted? You don't hear me?
We hear you now.
Okay, great. Good morning. Welcome to Sacred Space Sunday. Or if you're listening to us via podcast, welcome to our podcast, Niyah Center, Educate, Engage, and Empower. My name is Mark Christmas, Reiki Master, Director of Holistic Wellness at the Niyah Center. And next to me is Sam Jewell, the founder and spiritual director of the Niyah Center. So Niyah by name means definition and purpose, right? Definition means purpose, not definition. This definition means purpose and intention, right? Niyah Center today presents Sacred Space Sunday, every first and third Sunday of the month. Our spiritual conversations will engage, educate, and empower. We draw from the insights of sacred texts, wisdom teachings across the ages, sages from the past and present, and universal ethical principles for practical strategies for transformation that create oneness, joy, and love. Our transformation model is simple. It is insight plus application equals results. So every day at the end of the talk, we'll give you, after we've shared the insight from our talk, we'll give you an application, which is some tips and things you can apply to your life right then to create some immediate results. Right? Today's spiritual conversation topic is connecting to supernatural energy. Yes, I'm excited about that. Our program will include an affirmation, posture of presence, a mindfulness moment, a talk, and a conversation to engage, educate, and empower. Next, we recommend a practice applying the insights and close with a prayer to take you into your day and days ahead.
Fantastic. Looking forward to hearing about this talk. It is timely. It is your specialty. And as I look for those who are viewing us here in the studio, we have been in community 9/19/19, and it is hard to believe that we have been offering this community, this space for us to learn and grow together since 1919. And we are now approaching the last part of 2023. So it's an
How many years is
opportunity
that?
for, say that again, please.
How many years is that? How many
Is
years?
this a test? Is this a test?
Yeah, I just want to
You're
see how your math
serious
is
right now?
working. How's your
Huh?
math working? I'm just checking to see
Four
how your math
years.
is working.
4 years. 4 years. I guess he's getting ready for the weekend and some testing of his students. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that one is not that challenging. You know, get into some more complex, you know,
Yeah,
calculus and deeper equations,
I
then
don't need
you
to
know
teach
it's
all
going
of
to
those
be
kind of classes.
see a bit more of a pause there, a bit more of a pause. But
Right. 4 years.
so
Congratulations.
yeah, this is fantastic. And thank you, because we're only a community because of the community. So this is not 4 years of us celebrating, it is 4 years of us, the greater we celebrating. So thank you. Thank you for everyone who has shared and participated, who has offered up questions, comments, feedback, listened to us live, watched us live, shared it, listened in the future. However, it is that you have engaged with us, we appreciate it. That is our role and goal here, to engage, educate, and empower. So hopefully, we have been successful to that, as that is our vision for why we do what we do. And so we will just keep going with that vision, as our lighthouse. So the talks that we've had over the years, and there have been many. I think as we went back and reviewed, we were quite surprised by how many talks we have done,
Yeah.
because while we do revisit themes because they are spiritual laws, so the themes are covered repeatedly, and that is the purpose and point to go over these important spiritual themes frequently. How we share and engage with those themes is distinct. And so we have had many variations in topics over the years. Some examples of topics that Mark has, and you can feel free if you want to elaborate on them. Mark, you talked about how did we get here and did a Sermon on the Mount series. How do you pray? How you gonna win when you ain't right within? How you gonna win when you ain't right within? Shout out to Lauren on that, who has been out and about in the year 50 of hip hop. Even now was one of his topics. What's love got to do with it? Shout out to another pioneering, dynamic leader, Black woman, Tina Turney, and heart work. Mark, any comments or anything else you'd like to say about the talks, or what comes to mind as you hear that?
No, it's been a lot of fun over the last 4 years having these conversations. Heart work was about the heart, the healing, the energy of the heart. I know we're going to talk a little bit about healing today. So I just noticed that was the last topic. There were so many to choose from. So do just a few samples. Then we did the one with the Outcast, ever, ever, forever, forever, ever. Forgot about that one. Right.
Good stuff. And so some of the talks that I've done over the year. Good morning, KG Dean. Good morning, morning, morning out there in Cali time. Thank you for joining us this early morning. Some of the talks that I have done over the year, just a small sampling. I too did spiritual analysis of the Sermon on the Mount, talking about how to go from belief to manifestation, why it's important to focus on how you feel about things and not the circumstances to get what you want out of life, and many, many, many different talks that dealt with the themes of oneness, joy, and love. And one, I think, of the core teachings from my perspective that I gave more recently was the 10 spiritual laws, which are that there are universal laws, that there are universal spiritual laws, number one, and I would consider those to be oneness, love, and joy, and which is why the center is built on the universal spiritual laws of oneness, joy, and love, that all of the other 9 fall into these categories, either oneness, love, joy, or multiples. Number 2 is the law of vibration. 3, the law of attraction. 4, the law of oneness. 5, the law of caring for self or self-care. 6, the law of happiness, which is joy. Law of divine guidance, which is oneness. Law of abundance, which is love. Law of creativity, which is joy. And the fundamental law, which is love. So you certainly can check that in all of these broadcasts out on YouTube. They're all on YouTube. So you can go back and revisit at any time.
Thank you. Thank you, Moreno.
That's King's way of saying that he is suggesting that you go and listen. And he's actually giving a summary of his thoughts, but you really have to be adept at translating dog to really get the full meaning of what he is conveying to us to this moment. So thank you, King. And certainly they too are very much a part of these 4 years and
Yes.
have contributed their thoughts, timely or untimely, right? You know, they are very much led by their own timing. And so when they have something to say, they simply say it. And so many of us could learn from them in terms of using our voice. They have no problem using voice. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. We are moving from Virgo into Libra season. And so happy birthday. Happy birthday. We will continue.
Yeah, I think we are officially in Libra season now. Right.
We're officially, that's right, in Libra season now. So through October 22nd. So happy birthday to all the Libra.
October 23rd.
I know has a birthday in October on the 22nd, the last day Libra season. My sister Niyah has a birthday on October 19th. Happy birthday. And so many other Libras. So if you've got some Libras you want to shout out,
Sean Hardy and
Scorpios will be
Yvonne Orr, two high school buddies of mine. They have both have September birthdays as well.
happy birthday. Happy birthday. So you can contact us at Nee-yah Center for sponsorship to join us live in the studio. You all haven't taken us up on that, but we will continue to offer it up. And any spiritual counseling sessions with me, Reiki services with Mark after today's talk. You'll definitely be looking to get in contact with him on that. And next Sacred Space Sunday. Sacred Space Sundays are on the 1st and 3rd of every month. 1st and 3rd of every month. So October 15th is the next Sacred Space Sunday. I got word yesterday evening and the rest of the country and the world that here in the United States that the Congress was able to work out a congressional agreement that extends at least the appropriations and budgeting for operations of the federal government through November. So it is not a complete agreement and a full budget set to come in here, but it is at least a negotiation to hold over so that we do not have a lapse in appropriations, also known as a government shutdown here in the United States, which I am very much appreciative for. So all of my colleagues in the federal government that will be able to return to work on Monday, operations as usual, no furloughs, no suspension in pay, no suspension in services to women and children and those that need so many of the services offered by the federal government. So I am appreciative that those that are public servants and have been elected to lead our country politically were able to make the right choice and find a way to continue the operations of the federal government here in the United States. So with that, let's find a posture of presence and just release everything that has come up to this moment to arrive in this moment. So with that, I want to start today with one of the practices that comes out of the Buddhist traditions. And I say traditions plural. Buddhism, like most what we call religious traditions, are not one thing. There are many ways it's practiced, diverse communities within. Those diverse communities call them by varying names. They approach their practices in diverse ways. So one particular tradition of Buddhism, as it engages in meditative space, employs counting. Counting is one method to focus your mind on the numbers and therefore hopefully help you to free yourself from some of the thoughts that are the natural continuous flow in a human mind. So we are going to do a counting breathing practice today. Then I leave you to just settle in that. And there may come a point where you just stop counting and you just breathe on your own, just paying attention to the breath. So we're just going to do the simple revolving 4 count, which will look like 4 counts breathing in, 4 counts holding, 4 counts breathing out, 4 counts holding. Again, that would look like 4 counts breathing in, 4 counts holding, 4 counts breathing out, 4 counts holding. And I will start by counting with you aloud and then continue on counting to yourself. If you feel uneasiness, nervousness, some kind of angst as you're holding, like you just can't hold your breath, If you actually can't, then don't. Um, you may ask yourself, is this mental or is this real? And for those of us, it's mental. I find that the first couple of rounds, I feel 4 holes seems like an eternity. By the time I get to the third or fourth round, it becomes comfortable as I ease into it. And so that's all part of the process. It's all part of the process. As they say in the work of transformation and spirituality, trust the process. Let's begin. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. At your pace. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Continue counting your own. It is with great appreciation for this present moment, this sacred space, this sacred community, that in oneness on behalf of all, we say thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the one source that drives and is the creative force and energy that has created us all, that connects us all. For each individual that shows up whenever you show up, however you show up, and contributes to the energy that makes up this sacred space, that continues the evolution of the Niyah. I give thanks for my co-host, Mark Christmas, whose energy comes to this in wholeness and fullness to contribute all of his gifts and love and joy. I give thanks for the messaging that pours through us each Sacred Space Sunday, today, knowing all that is unfolding and has unfolded and will unfold is in perfect design. We hold this vibration of oneness, love, and joy and know that it is what returns to us. Releasing this to the action of the law, source energy, God. It is already done. Ashe, Amin, and so it is. So I think, Mark, you have a meditation, affirmation to share.
Yes, yes. So affirmations, I ask that you repeat them after me. You want to take a picture of it? We'll put it on the screen in a second here. And to be with it, over the course of the next several days. So if you can repeat after me, I am peaceful. I am grateful. I am joyful. I am kind to every living thing. I am doing my best. Let's do that one more time. I am peaceful. I am grateful. I am joyful. I am kind to every living thing. I am doing my best. Yeah, so that's our affirmation. We'll ask you to be with it. Not just today, we'll try to be with it every day for the next several days and see what that does for you. All right. You want to say something like?
No, I think it's beautiful. It's a beautiful affirmation.
Oh.
I'm kind to every living thing. I am thoughtful. As I read that, about this thing they've been talking about with killing these flies and how that doesn't swell with my soul. And so I'm appreciative of this. I am kind to every living thing and trusting the process that too will resolve itself without a genocide.
Genocide on the insect genocide. Well, that's why they suggest that you kill them because
Eradicating a population is what a genocide is, and that's
yeah, but that's
what.
why they suggest that you kill them because they're feeding on a breed of insect as well and killing them off. I don't know. That's what one of our students said. I haven't killed any.
And I would trust the natural process. I am going to, trust the natural process. That it doesn't rest well with my soul, and so therefore it is not in alignment with my spiritual principles of doing what feels good. And it doesn't. I'm not suggesting what others do. I simply say it doesn't rest well with my soul, so I will not be contributing to the genocide of that population intentionally.
Got it. All right. Let's talk about connecting spiritual energy. All right. So, spiritual energy, what is that, right? That's a phrase, supernatural energy, which you can call it spiritual as well. It could be called supernatural, but there's at least two passages in the Bible that highlight Jesus's laying hands to heal others or either giving instructions to his followers to do the same, right? The first scripture I'll refer to is Luke 4:40. It says, when the sun was setting, all those who had any that were sick with various diseases brought them to him, and he laid his hands on every one of them and healed them. All right. Now, I'll share the two stories in the Bible that talks about Jesus healing or instructing others to heal. So one was when he was at one of his disciples, Simon Peter, house, right? And after leaving the synagogue, he entered Simon's house. And now Simon's mother had a high fever, right? She was suffering from a high fever. And so they asked Jesus if he could look at her. And so he went and stood over her and he said, he rebuked the fever and left her. Immediately she got up and began to serve them. And as the sun was setting, all those in the neighborhood who had any who were sick or with various kinds of diseases brought them to him, and he laid his hands on each of them and cured them, right? And so that's Luke. That story is found in the 4th chapter of Luke, verses 38 through 40, right? which reminds me of a scripture, another scripture which I referenced, 2 Timothy 1-6, chapter 1, verse 6, which says, "Therefore, I remind you to stir up the gift of God, which is in you through the laying on of my hands," right? And so the laying on of hands is powerful. And then Jesus compels his disciples here in Matthew, the mission of 12. He said these 12 disciples Jesus sent out with the following instructions. Go nowhere among the Gentiles and enter no town of the Samaritans, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Right? And as you go, proclaim the good news. The kingdom of heaven has come near. Cure the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the lepers, and cast out demons. All things which Jesus had been expressed in the Bible is found doing himself, and there's stories of him doing those things. And then he's instructing his disciples to do that. That's Matthew chapter 10, verses 5-8. Right. So which leads me to another story is that centuries later, right, at a Buddhist monastery in Japan in the early 1920s, some students asked their professor, Dr. Yusui, they said, "Hey, how did Jesus and them heal people back in the day?" They wanted to know how Jesus and the disciples were laying hands on people and they were healed. According to the story, Dr. Yusui went into the mountains and fasted and prayed, seeking the answer to this question. And after 21 days, he came down with a form of spiritual practice known as Reiki. Reiki is also an alternative therapy for treating physical, emotional, and mental diseases. Right. Reiki is a method of healing that dates back over 2,500 years, but was forgotten for a long time. In the 19th century, Dr. Mikao Yusui rediscovered the system. Reiki roots come from India, having passed through Tibet and China to Japan, where Dr. Yusui rediscovered it. Right. Now, what's interesting is this was in the 1920s, so they weren't calling it Reiki back in Jesus' days when they were just laying on hands. And it's been called many things over the ages: prana, chi, Holy Spirit, different names that different cultures have given to it. But one of Yusui's disciples was Hayase. Now, Hayase was a Japanese naval surgeon, and he was using Reiki in his practice with his patients. And during that time, there was a young lady who came over from Hawaii named named Takata, Takata, who was suffering from some serious medical injuries. And she was supposed to have surgery. And before she went in according to the story, she went in for the pre-checkup with the doctor before surgery. And she said, "Is there anything I can do?" And he said, "Well, actually, there's this place that some of my family members have gone to." And he directed her to Hayase's clinic. And Takata went to the clinic, and according to the story, she was relieved of all of her medical conditions. And after that, she became a student of Reiki, stayed in Japan for years to learn it, became a Reiki master, and then took it back to Japan, to Hawaii. Now, Hayase and Takata are considered the two people that are responsible for spreading Reiki in the Western Hemisphere. So they brought it to to Hawaii, in which he trained 22 Reiki masters, of which then went and trained other people in the U.S., which I'm kind of 4 people away from in that training system. And it got to people like me and others who I've trained and others have trained as well. And Reiki is becoming, I guess, more popular in terms of name. I know we were watching a TV show the other day, and I think it was The Shy, and they were talking about a Reiki, doing Reiki in The Shy. So I've started to hear it and see it in different places. But basically, what is Reiki? What does Reiki do spiritually? Right. So Reiki is a holistic Japanese stress reduction, relaxation, and spiritual healing technique. Right. Rei means higher knowledge or spiritual consciousness, and Ki means life energy. So we combine those words together, the spiritually guided life energy, right? Or what I like to call supernatural energy. Right? So where does the Reiki energy come from? Right? Reiki energy is a subtle energy. It differs from electricity or chemical energy or other kinds of physical energy. Reiki energy comes from the higher power, I'll call source, God. You may call it whatever it is that you call the higher power, which exists on a higher dimension than the physical world we are familiar with. Right? So does Reiki change your life? So I think this leads to the most fundamental of changes when you attune to Reiki and commit to holding it in your heart and using it in your life. Your perspective changes, right? Because you now have the ability that was always available, but hugely hidden. You can now look at life from a different angle. And it kind of reminds me of a scripture in Timothy, 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 14, which says, "Do not neglect the gift that is in you, which was given to you by the prophecy with the laying on of the hands of the eldership," right? So in many published studies, Reiki is linked to a range of physical and emotional health benefits, including better sleep, improved mood, and pain relief. Research suggests that Reiki helps the body return to a deep state of relaxation, which allows it to better heal from damage brought on by stress, injury, or dis-ease, right? And so the deep state of relaxation, the body goes into, and then when you're in that state of relaxation, your body can begin to heal itself, right? Reiki resolves emotional distress by allowing healing energy to flow freely throughout the body, which results in relaxation and reduced pain and tension. It can also help reduce stress and anxiety, decreasing pain perception. So, all in all, Reiki can be a very powerful method of using. Most people use Reiki connecting to this supernatural energy for healing. But I would say that this energy is present in every living thing. And so I use Reiki not only to do healing sessions with clients, but to pick food, to pick vegetables and the meats, or sometimes I'm at a restaurant to pick which meal or which drink I might order off the menu. I can use Reiki and just see what the energy reads are from that. I also use it to pick handyman. I have a certain number of people I need a service from, and I'm not sure. I just have their numbers and their names, so I put my hand over each one and get a sense of reading from those. But I want to talk about insight plus application equals results, right? And how to do a Reiki self treatment. We're going to do a treatment. I'm actually going to walk you through 4 things here. We're going to start off with a breathing meditation. Then we're going to do a self treatment. We're talk about journaling and then practicing the 5 Reiki principles. So the first thing in the breathing meditation. So if you can just do this with me, we'll take a few minutes, maybe about 10 minutes to complete this exercise. So take a deep breath into your hara. Your hara is also known as your belly, right? In Japanese, it's Japanese for belly. And say breathing in. Breathing in. You want to hold that breath in your center, right? Feel it there. And when you exhale it on the out breath, say breathing out. Breathing out. All right, let's do that a couple more times. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing out. As you do this, visualize yourself firmly rooted into the ground with a cord that runs from your heart, which is also known as your belly, deep into the earth below. Sense the grounding of your body, your mind, and your soul. You're grounded and connected in the moment, just as you are. Take a deep breath into your hara. Fully out. Place your hands in the gastro. That's the 2 hands here clasped in front of your chest, like this. Open your eyes. So a self-treatment. To share a daily body self-treatment, you will it will help you do the Reiki experience, right? It will give you an opportunity to connect with your body. You'll start to feel it flow, intuitively understanding what your body and mind need in the present. So after the grounding meditation, which we just did, rest your palms on each of the energy center for 3 to 5 minutes. Now we're not going to do 3 to 5 minutes. I'll just sit there about a minute and a half. So the first one will be crown chakra. You can place your hands on your head, close fingers together, close them together in your head. Breathe in to your hara. Imagine yourself breathing love, giving love to that area of your body. Breathe out. Energy to the few more breaths. All right, when you're ready, just slowly move your hands to your throat chakra. Then to your belly, hold that in your belly. Breathe it out through your hands. This is also where communication lies, right? Sometimes you get a tickle in your throat and you go to speak. In case things, you know what I'm saying? Conversations not happening. And now slowly move your hands to the heart chakra. Like the heart is the key to your healing. Heart is where it holds all your disappointments, feelings, and the pain, things that have happened and maybe never should have happened. Uh, heart, heart, heart to receive the feelings, but also to release. Stand up so you can see. Move on down to your solar plexus or root. Then holding it in your hara hands. This is where relationships are stored. In this area of your body is where you store relationships. Think about maybe relationships that need to be cleaned up, right? And maybe even the people aren't even physically close to you, or maybe not even still present in this formal physical body. You can still clean these relationships up. You can use your journaling to do those things as well. Some of you may be noticing a little warmth in your hands that you down to this part of your body. You fall through it. Notice around back to the sacral. Finally, come to your reproductive area, your root chakra. Now you're breathe in deep to your belly, to your hara. Get there and then breathe out into the root, lung, appreciation, gratitude, joy. All of this in relationships. Some can be physical discomfort, can be linked to other emotional, physical, mental dis-ease or discomfort that we had in the past is now manifesting physical. A lot of women have trauma in their womb, passed on through generations, right? Womb healing is a thing. You just notice without judgment what your body does. Your hands in open position, set them upward in your lap. Take a couple more breaths. So things I like to do is bring my hands and cup them over my ears. So you can hear the energy flowing through it, kind of like a seashell on the beach. Okay. Now, when you finish your Reiki, you want to do some judgment-free journaling, right? Judgment-free journaling, where you just write about what you noticed during your self-practice, right? And I say judgment-free because you aren't looking to judge as a good or bad. I do it right, I do it wrong. Just know what may have come up for you during your practice, if anything. What did you notice? Maybe there's some relationships that we talked about that need to be cleaning up. Maybe you can talk about what those are, what that looks like, right? Things and conversations you're having. You can use your journal as a place to at least start those conversations or explore those things that maybe that you haven't said or you aren't able to say for whatever reason, right? And so, and then you practice the 5 Reiki principles, right? The 5 Reiki principles, which is also the same as our affirmation. You silently repeat or chant and repeat them again after me now. I am peaceful. I am grateful. I am joyful. I am kind to every living thing. I am doing my best. So I'd like you just to take maybe a moment just to type a quick note in their chat around what your experience with the Reiki self-treatment was. We could explore that, share with the group what came, or if you have questions about that, we'd love to hear and entertain those kind of questions as well. Cool.
What is some common feedback that you have heard from your clients over the years, Mark?
Like what you wrote, peaceful. We see Auntie said she felt peaceful. Dean said she couldn't do it because she fell back to sleep. The Reiki has changed her life. I think once people get past that, am I doing it right? Because they're like, what position? What was I supposed to do? Do I go here next or there? And they just kind of get into the habit of doing it. That they get a sense of calmness and grounding with it. It doesn't matter when you do it in the morning or in the evening. Before, just take a few moments to do it. And sometimes you may not have 10 minutes to do a full treatment. So you maybe just do a quick scan. Moreno said he'll totally do this at work. Okay. Got it. It's Reiki has changed my life in many ways, right? It's changed my life in many ways. Particularly those principles. I noticed that sometimes if I feel off kilter, I'll say those principles to myself in my mind, or even I might just say them out loud. Because that is what I'm striving for. And that is who I am at the core, right? Even though the circumstances may make me feel different. I know that I'm peaceful, I'm joyful, I'm grateful, I'm kind to every living thing, and I'll do my best. And sometimes it encourages me to do those things when I may not want to choose them. What was your experience with it?
Definitely felt more peaceful and a sense of just gratitude for life and for beingness, for connectedness. So just and I still feel a sense of evenness in my energy. King feels better as well. He just thought you all should know. Isn't that right, King?
King loves you. Yeah.
So here we have
what is go ahead.
Let's read it for the people who are listening in. I am on the road, so I wasn't able to fully participate, but I did a Reiki session with Niyah at a retreat. Why don't you take over, Mark?
And I felt a lot of heat over my forehead, and afterwards, my thoughts felt so clear with all kinds of ideas. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing, Latanya. Yeah. Yeah, how are you driving and typing?
Talk to text. Talk to text. Talk to text. All right, you've got another one to read.
Gets me back inside my body. Past trauma has me leave my body when I feel unsafe. Sometimes I don't even realize I left. This is a great tool that I can practice in real time. Thanks. Oh, yeah, you're welcome, Aaron. It actually is, and you talked about that. I would recommend that you use the journaling as a part to help, as a part of the healing. Now, the thing is that you do Reiki, you can have it tends to cleanse you, right? Because it's moving the blockages out. And so you want to make space for new things and make sure you let the other things out. So the journal can be a place to release. But I would encourage people that your emotions, don't run away from the emotions if you feel them coming up. Just allow them to express themselves and to experience it fully, knowing that it will pass, right? But you don't want to keep suppressing them, because holding them in is part of what creates the blockages and the dis-ease and the discomfort. So I want to know that you are a safe space, you are love, you are joy, you're kind to every living thing, which includes yourself. And so let's continue to be kind to yourself as well as other living beings.
Agreed. These are true transformative practices. They don't cost anything. They don't require you to be any particular space or time. No special equipment needed. No special clothing. You don't have to find somebody that you relate to on the internet. So when you're looking for what are practices that can support me in feeling better, in having more peace, in leaning into appreciation and gratitude, this is one key practice that we are offering you. And you saw it was very simple. And we did it in an abbreviated time. Mark, you're suggesting that people would breathe in each posture for 3 to 5 minutes. Is that correct?
Ideally, but I mean, we know that your days you don't always have much time, but just want to be intentional with why before you do a set of intention. Hey, I want to relax. You know, if you're doing it before you go to bed, then maybe you have the time to do it because you want to go, you want to relax. I want to do it with the intention of healing or calming myself. You may just have 5 minutes, and maybe just take a minute on each area, right? Breathe in, and that's all that you have at that moment.
So you received two practices, the Buddhist counting practice, the Reiki self-healing meditation practice today. And because it is absolutely our knowing that insight is one thing. So it's great to listen to words of wisdom, but they only are meaningful in our experience to the extent that we practice them. We call it a practice because it's ongoing, it's continuous. Words alone don't teach. Or, a good preach is a good preach, but it is not lasting and it's not transformative. Forget what you heard and actually do it. So we invite you to follow Mark's suggestions around the application, the breathing meditation, the Reiki bath, self-treatment, doing the judgment-free journaling. That's a way to release. It's like the exhale and print. That's the exhale and print. So the judgment-free journaling, allowing yourself to release those old energies, those old thoughts, those old ideas, those old attachments that are no longer serving you. Let them go. Let yourself let them go. Judgment-free journaling and practicing the 5 principles that you see scrolling below in the affirmation. I am peaceful. I am peaceful. Like you do the practices, you experience it. And in the moment, it's your truth. And as it is your truth, it continues to be your truth. I am grateful. I am joyful. I am kind to every living thing. Every living thing includes you. You're included in the every living thing. So Reiki is a way to be kind to yourself first, which opens the gateway for you to be kind to everyone else. And I am
Even if you haven't been kind in that day or in that moment, just a reminder that you can be. Right.
exactly. And I am doing my best because that's what this is all about. That's what we're saying. The practice. The practice is an effort to do your best. It's the best that I can do right now. And that best changes with the moment. So thank you for very, very, very powerful teaching and practice. Hopefully everyone learned today, learned the history of Reiki. You were able to get the sense that this is a transnational practice. This is a deep history that crosses the globe. And like all great teachings, is known to have emerged in one place, but take it much further back. And so these are what we talk about, sages from the past and the present, ancient wisdom teachings. This is because these are universal laws and principles. These are laws at work that have spanned the centuries, many, 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 many centuries. So make them your own and see how, as KG Dean shared in her post, will transform your life.
Yeah, what does she say here? It made her more intuitive, able to hear or listen to divine. Awesome. And Auntie says, thanks for the practice. You're welcome, Auntie.
Yeah. Yeah. So remember to subscribe and reshare this broadcast so you have it now. For those that are listening, you can re-listen, but you can also find this on YouTube. And so you can watch and you can practice along with Mark. So you don't have to say, I don't remember, I don't know what to do. You can just simply replay this on YouTube, scroll to the part and just make this part of your practice. You can practice along with Mark via YouTube. So reshare, whether you're joining us via Twitch, via Facebook, via YouTube, and follow us on all of our channels. And remember that if you're on Facebook, you can join our Allverse group. You can join the Allverse group, ALLVERSE, Allverse group, where we look to all share as a community anything uplifting that'll make us smile, no matter the mode of the verse. And certainly, I am a commuter, and many are returning to office and are now back on the highways and byways and trains and buses. And so you listen to our podcast, which is Nee-yah Center, Engage, Educate, and Empower. And just look to stay in touch. Again, there are particular topics that you would like us to be addressing, things you'd like to hear again, hear more about, speakers you think would be great to invite to the program. Please stay in touch. Bravo, I was just thinking about you. You were on my mind. You must have been feeling my energy. So happy and proud of all the things that you all are doing in Chicago, but just you have been top of mind. So just want to send Bravo a special I love you and miss you.
And there's a link in the chat for a link to a self-treatment that I've made, a video just doing a self-treatment. You can refer to that as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Anything else to add from the community or from Mark before we go into our closing prayer? Just put it in the chat. We have another comment, Mark.
Yeah, Mark has a YouTube video. I do have one picking vegetables in the store. I think I was picking some limes or something.
So KG Dean says, for those who are listening on the broadcast, and Mark has a YouTube video of him picking fruit with Reiki in the grocery store based on my request. He. So check that out on YouTube, picking fruit in the grocery store and how you use your Reiki. It's very successful. We have very sweet tasting fruit in our house. So don't knock it till you try it. Well, thank you, everyone. We appreciate you as we continue to move forward into what is really another fruitful year of Nee-yah Center and Sacred Space Sunday, inshallah. And we wish you great practices as you practice Reiki, and send you into this week, and we will see you back on the 15th. Mark, I turn it to you.
Yes. Lord, thank you for this opportunity to share and come together in community. Thank you for the opportunity to receive the love from the listening audience. Thank you for the opportunity to share the universal supernatural healing, the access that we all have to it. Right. Thank you for the practice of Reiki in my life since the early 2000s. Thank you for those that introduced me and taught me and guided me. Thank you for the Reiki masters that came before me and those that trained me. Thank you for us coming together in community to share love, to be kind to every living thing as we go out into this week. Thank you for the peace and the gratitude and the joy and the striving to do our best, Lord. And in those situations that may seem trying, we thank you that knowing that you have the answer, and that you are a healer, and that you are a problem solver, and that you are a way maker. Thank you for showing us the way. Let's be open to receive that guidance. Thank you for a wonderful, blessed week. Thank you for the services, the funeral services we will attend. And blessing the family on this Friday. Thank you for a blessed wedding ceremony on Saturday with my nephew, with his wedding, his bride to be. In your name we pray, amen. And so it is.
Amen. And so it is. So we wish you a wonderful Sunday wherever and whenever you are. With hopefully a Sunday is coming, just not a day for you. Yes, and we've got a lot coming up in our family in the next days and weeks. And so we wish blessings on all those occurrences. Again, happy birthday to all of the Libras. And just thank you. Thank you. Thank you for 4 years of being in community. We will see you again on October 15th, inshallah.